Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to math. Today, we're still kind of covering what we did last class. If you guys remember last class, we had some equations where we had to cancel out things that are from the same from the top to the bottom. Okay, we're kind of still doing the same thing. The only difference now is they're a little more complicated. Okay, they're a little more longer, should I say? Okay, it's not really that they're too complicated. It's just a little more steps to it. Okay, all right. So I have the first one here. Okay, kind of looks complicated. Okay, it's really not. Okay, bear with me. Make sure you have it on your notes. Now, we don't really want to solve it like this because it looks complicated, right? We want to make it easier on ourselves. So we're gonna rewrite it. Okay, we're gonna write it as b2 minus 1 over 3b plus 2 divided by, okay, because that line in the middle means they're divided, b plus 1 over 3b squared minus b minus 2. Okay? First thing to do is we're going to break it down. Okay? Make it a lot easier on ourselves. We're going to break it down by rewriting it. Okay? If you guys remember from last class, we have any variable square minus the perfect square. All you have to do is break it down into two pieces. Okay? One positive, one negative. So we're going to rewrite the top as b plus 1, okay, and b minus 1, okay, over, notice how we have something here on the bottom, okay? If you look at this equation on the bottom, do we have anything in common? 3b plus 2, okay? Let me make sure I write it right, yep. Since there's nothing there in common, we're going to leave it as it is. I'm going to write it as 3b plus 2, okay? Now, we're going to try to break down this ones, okay? Notice that b plus 1 can't be broken down anymore. It's already at its prime. We're going to leave it as it is. Let's use purple. All right, divided by, and then we have our line. All right, b plus 1 stays as it is. B plus 1. The bottom can be broken down, okay? You might ask yourself how. If you guys remember, back to quadratics, we're going to find there's a 1 next to the b. Two numbers that give us negative 2 when you multiply. The only numbers that give us 2 is 1 and 2. 1 times 2, okay? One of them has to be negative, okay? Hint, hint. Since we're dealing with the negative, always try to make your bigger number the negative one, okay? You might ask yourself why. You're going to see in a minute, okay? So we have 1 times negative 2. Numbers that give us 3, the only option is 1 and 3, okay? If we multiply 1 times 2, okay, in this case negative, do we get negative 2, right? And then multiply 1 or 3 times 1 times, so it's 3. Notice that in this case it didn't really work out. The biggest one doing the negative, so now we're going to try out the small one. So now we have, again, 2 or 1 times 2 is 2, and 3 times 1 is negative. Okay? So we have 2 minus 3, which is negative 1, right? All right, if we would have done 1 times 1, it would be negative 1. 3 times 2 is plus 6, because 3 times 2 is 6. Notice that we get a positive 5. If we're looking for a negative 1, if we multiply 1 times 2, which is 2, and then 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, you get the negative 1 that we're looking for in the middle. Okay? You covered this in the past on the previous concepts on quadratics. Okay? Now we're putting it all together. Okay. So, we found our numbers, which are 2 and 3. Okay? The way we're going to set it up, if you guys remember, is we're going to put two sets of parentheses. Okay? We're going to put the b's. What's in front of the b's? The two numbers we broke down is 1 and 3, so we're going to put a 1 here, a 3 here. Now, this is the part where it really matters. Okay? Since we used the negative 1 and the 2, we multiplied 1 times 2 to get the 2 that we needed. Since that happened, wherever the 1 is, on the other parentheses, on the opposite parentheses, you're going to put the number that was multiplied 2, which in this case was the 2. So the 2 is going to go here. Since it's positive 2, we're going to put plus 2. Since we multiplied 3 times negative 1 to get negative 3, the 3 is over here, so the negative 1 goes on the opposite, which is over here, minus 1. Okay? Now that we have that, we're almost done, okay? We have to do one extra step. Once we have it in this format, okay, what we have to do is, we can never divide, okay, these ones. What we're going to do is we're going to make a multiplication, okay? When that happens, you have to flip the second equation, okay? So the 1b minus 1, 3b plus 2 go on top, and b plus 1 goes on the bottom, okay? So I'm going to erase this side so I can write it in there. So our new problem is b plus 1, b minus 1 over, stays the same, 3b plus 2, okay? And then on the other side, we have multiplication now, because remember, we're going to flip it, times, we have the bottom on top, which is b. We really don't need the 1, okay? Minus 1. And 3b plus 2, okay? Over b plus 1, which will stop, right? Okay, now that we have it all written out completely, we can actually start canceling things out. All right. Do we have anything that is the same here, that is the same down here on the opposites? We do, right? B plus 1 cancels out. B plus 1 cancels out. What about in the opposite? Anything here that is also down here? We do, right? 3b plus 2 cancels out. 3b plus 2 cancels out. Okay? Notice that you have b minus 1 on top and b minus 1. Those don't cancel out because they're on the same side, okay? Think of a wall. This is the wall right here. These are on the bottom, on the other side of the wall, okay? Those cancel out. These are on the same side, so those don't cancel out. So your final answer is, you have b plus 1 or b minus 1, and then b minus 1, okay? Which, if you want to leave it in polynomial, you would FOIL it out, okay? That's fine if you leave it as far as this, okay? All right, so that's the concept for today, okay? Like I said, it's just a little more lengthy. It's kind of what we did last class. All right, so here's your assignment for today. All right, guys, so for assignment for today, we have x minus 4 divided by x squared plus 6x plus 9 divided by x squared minus 2x minus 8 divided by 3 plus x. Okay? I'm only going to give you one because technically it's really a review. It's just a more lengthy review. Okay? The next step for harder ones. Okay? I'm only going to give you one because I know it's lengthy. Plus, again, it's a review. All right. Make sure you submit your answers as soon as you're done watching the video, and I'll be waiting for your email.